So let's talk a bit about your TV work. Obviously, you know, it's a few years ago now that you did that main show, but how did you find it? And obviously, the show is on right now.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I've seen like snippets of it. It's funny, you know, it brings up a lot of memories. But it was interesting afterwards. I mean, I went through a pretty hard time. You know, everyone talks. Well, a few people come out and spoken about like really hard times that they had. But the year after Love Island, I went through a really bad time. You know, a mental depression. I think I was going out too much as well. But when I go out, I was being the best of myself. You know, I go out and when I've had a few drinks, and no one would know, like no one would have a clue that anything this bad is going on in my life. But on the flip side, you know, the next day when I woke up, savage, I'm miserable, you know, and people assume that your life is just constantly good because you're out at events, you're doing stuff, you're doing fun stuff. And like you say, you're drinking. And so you're like, I could be the best of myself. But then the next days and when you're not doing anything, they were just brutal. And like I say, the bully in my own mind would just come out and say, like, you should be doing so much more. What you're doing with your life. Is this really what you want to do? Some things just weren't going right with agents. Like it was when I did Love Island, it opened doors, but closed a lot of doors, a lot of doors which I was used to. So working with some of the bigger brands didn't want to touch me because I was associated with Love Island. But it was opening up smaller doors with other, you know, smaller companies. But maybe in a bit of a big-headed way at the time, I was like, I don't want to work with these brands anymore because I've worked with that and I was kind of working my way up to bigger brands. But really, that was just my own self-pride, I think.
So for you, would you do it again? Or if you went back, do you think you wouldn't do it?
I'm
sure people ask that, yeah.
Yeah, all the time. I don't know, catch me on a different day, I'd say, yeah, catch me on another day, you know, I'd be like, no, I wouldn't ever do it again. I think I'd change a few things. I think I would definitely change the after Love Island and how I went about things and my life. And I think it's not necessarily that do I regret doing the show. I think it's a lot of the things I did afterwards. I should have been a lot more proactive with stuff. Like if I want something, I go and get it. If I really want something, there's nothing that will stop me. And I think mentally, I was allowing a lot of things to stop me from doing the go-getting, you know? And agents, I don't know, like agents are so important, but I think some agents aren't good for you because they don't actually know what it is you want to do and where you want to go. I think it's a lot of, they just want to make the money.
They have to be the right fit with you and for your vision rather than, you know, they have an idea of just seeing the money and that's the idea.
Yeah. And they know, every agent knows for a short period of time, you're like hot stuff, you know, you're going to be making money. So they're there to make the money out of you. It's no offense to agents because they are important and it's very key to having that when you're in the public eye or, you know, you're doing that kind of thing. But at the same time, I think I just picked some of the wrong people, made a few mistakes. And then at that point, I was like, do you know what, I'm over it. And then people constantly were coming, talking about Love Island. And I was like,
you've moved
Jesus Christ, stop talking to me about this. I mean, I know you're asking now, but it was like, it was random people. And everyone just wants to know about it all the time. And then if somebody talks to me about it now when I'm out or I'm doing something, and then they just like plying me with questions, I'm like... in my head, I'm like, please stop talking to me about it.
It's only one part of your life. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So I'm Paul Knops. I'm not Paul from Love Island, and that, you know, after a while, that it just sort of grated on me. And I didn't associate myself with Love Island for a long time. You know, I think straight away, I tried to take myself away from it. I didn't want to be going to the events. I didn't want to be associated with Love Island because I didn't want to carry on with anything necessary to do with that. And I didn't want to go on any of the other like reality TV shows because it just wasn't me. I wanted to be doing different things and something which kind of felt like had a bit more substance to it, you know?